Hey everyone, welcome back to the Unheralded Dynasty. We're 8 weeks into our journey, and today we're hitting the recruiting trail. Our destination is Manvel, Texas. Our target is Collin Eifert. He's a 3-star offensive tackle with that power tendency we love. You can see Eifert here, really close to committing. He's sitting at the top of our recruiting board, and today we're going to see why. This isn't just another recruiting visit. This is about finding that diamond in the rough. That player who might not have 5-star hype, but has 5-star potential. Coach O'Connell and our lead scout, Al Waysby-Cruton, have been methodical about this visit. We're not just looking at stats and highlight tapes. We're looking to understand the whole player, his motivations, his potential, his character. Collin represents exactly what Unheralded Dynasty is about, finding those overlooked talents who are ready to prove their rankings wrong. A power tackle from a Texas high school who's got that hunger to develop, to improve, to become something special. So, buckle up. I'm about to take you inside our recruiting process, show you how we identify and pursue the kinds of players who will become the foundation of our program. So, let's jump in the car with the coaches and find out more about Collin. All right, quick side note. As you watch these images that I've created to go along with the story, one, they're AI generated, so there's going to be some wonkiness to them, but just enjoy that. That's part of the charm. I didn't want to take time to edit a lot of things out, and you'll notice that the coaches may make wardrobe changes between pictures. Let's ignore all that and focus on the story. All right, let's jump in. All right, here's a summary of Collin Eifert's recruiting visit. The coaches arrived at Manvel High School around 3 o'clock, and when they arrived at Manvel High School, Principal Daniels personally greeted them and immediately highlighted Collin's academic excellence, mentioning his 3.6 GPA while handling a demanding athletic schedule. The principal emphasized Collin's ability to thrive under pressure, sharing a story about how Collin successfully improvised an entire presentation without notes when the technology failed. During their meeting with Ms. Hernandez, the academic counselor, they learned about Collin's methodical approach to schoolwork. She explained how he treats classes like film study, even creating a playbook for analyzing literature. Ms. Hernandez noted Collin's resilience after underperforming on a calculus exam, immediately scheduling tutoring sessions and creating a new study approach. She also shared that Collin voluntarily mentors freshman players with their academics. Coach Ramirez, the strength and conditioning coach, showed impressive footage of Collin's perfect squat form and explained how Collin asked about the purpose behind each movement pattern rather than just blindly following instructions. After tough workouts like their Texas Heat finisher, Collin immediately follows his recovery protocol while other students are exhausted. Coach Ramirez noted that Collin regularly stays after to help younger linemen with technique. Ms. Foster, Collin's English teacher and the head volleyball coach, praised his communication skills and unique presence. What stands out immediately is his communication skills, she explained. Most teenage boys his size tend to be quiet or use their physical presence to dominate conversations. Collin listens intently, processes information, then speaks with remarkable clarity. When discussing feedback, Ms. Foster showed a paper that initially received a B-, explaining that Collin came to office hours with specific questions about improving his analysis, not for the grade, but because he genuinely wanted to master the material. That kind of growth mindset is rare, she said. She also mentioned seeing him play in the school's intramural volleyball tournament. I tried to recruit him for volleyball, you know. His vertical leap is surprising for someone his size, and his spatial awareness, the way he reads the court, is remarkable. He could have been an excellent middle blocker, but football is clearly his passion. Still, it shows his overall athleticism extends beyond the football field. After time at the school, the coaches head to the Eifert home, where they were warmly welcomed by Collin's parents. The coaches opened their tablet to discuss Collin's development path. Mr. Eifert mentioned they'd been approached by programs making big promises about NFL development and wanted realistic expectations. Coach O'Connell showed their development roadmap, explaining their 3-phase approach. Year 1 focuses on strength foundation and technical refinement. Year 2 on system mastery and physical maturation. In Year 3 on NFL-specific techniques. Coach Edwards showed specific film clips, praising Collin's drive blocking while identifying areas for growth, like maintaining his vertical set against elite edge speed. Collin acknowledged this was exactly what he'd been working on. When Mr. Eifert asked about promises of immediate starting roles from other schools, Coach O'Connell was honest, refusing to guarantee anything, but explaining their transparent evaluation process based on performance rather than seniority or recruiting stars. During discussions about playing style, Collin studied the film clips carefully. Coach Edwards explained their offensive philosophy, showing how they primarily run a power-based attack. We're about 70% gap scheme, 20% duo, and 10% zone concepts, Coach Edwards explained. Collin nodded appreciatively. I love downhill power football. That suits my skill set perfectly. Coach Edwards showed film cut-ups, highlighting pulling opportunities for tackles in their counter and power schemes. Your movement skills at your size would be perfect for these concepts, Coach Edwards noted. Collin mentioned he loves pulling in space, but his high school coach limited it because their guard wasn't comfortable with the tackle wrap concept. The discussion turned to proximity to home, with Mrs. Eifert mentioning they hadn't missed a game since Collin started playing in 7th grade. Coach O'Connell explained their campus was about 3.5-hour drive from Manvel and detailed their family accommodation arrangements, including reserved hotel blocks at reduced rates, pre-game family breakfasts, and anchor families who serve as local support systems. After the home visit, they head to the football facility, and at the football facility, Coach Martinez described Collin's development from a freshman with size, still growing into his frame, to someone who, after a rough first varsity start as a sophomore, asked for extra film time every morning at 6:30 a.m. He described how Collin took ownership when they had a young quarterback struggling with protection calls, organizing protection meetings and teaching concepts to the whole line. When asked about Collin's leadership style, Coach Martinez described him as leading through example and direct communication. He shared a story about how Collin solved an issue with players cutting corners in conditioning by inviting them to his additional workouts rather than calling them out publicly. Coach Wilson, the offensive line coach, outlined Collin's 4-year development progression. Freshman year focused on pad level, sophomore year in developing a consistent kick slide, junior year in hand placement and punch timing, and senior year on second-level blocking in space and counter moves and pass protection. He identified 3 areas for college-level development: maintaining leverage against elite-level speed, developing diverse hand-fighting techniques, and refining landmark targeting on zone plays. After talking with the high school coaches, Coach O'Connell and Coach Edwards head to the football field and find their place in the stands. During the game, Coach O'Connell and Coach Edwards observed Collin dominating his matchup. They noticed his excellent pre-snap recognition, translating to proper set points, his scanning of the entire defensive front, rather than just focusing on his assignment. Even in the 4th quarter, after 50-plus snaps, Collin maintained perfect technique with no degradation of form. The coaches also noticed him gathering the offensive line after a touchdown, celebrating, but quickly refocusing them for the next series. Coach O'Connell remarked that everything they'd heard during the day was evident on the field: Collin's technical foundation, leadership presence, and problem-solving ability. The visit confirmed for the coaches that Collin checked every box they were looking for in their program, both physically and in terms of intangibles. They agreed he could be the cornerstone tackle for this recruiting class. Rashaud Wake, making really good ground into his top 3. That's a good sign for us. We'll keep pouring 50 into him with his hard sell. Now, being that Rashaud is really close to signing, let's dive into Coach O'Connell's prestigious hard sell and see what that sounds like. So again, just imagine Rashaud Wake on his family's couch talking with Coach O'Connell. His parents are there, and they're talking about coach prestige, conference prestige, and proximity to home. Rashaud, I want to talk about what makes a coach truly prestigious, because the metrics most programs use are fundamentally flawed. The easy way to measure coaching prestige is to count trophies, TV appearances, and Twitter followers. But those are outcomes, not indicators of who a coach really is. The true measure of coaching excellence isn't what's displayed in a trophy case. It's found in how players develop under their guidance and how they treat people on their journey. Our coaching staff may not have all the household names yet, but they have something more valuable. They understand that genuine prestige comes from elevating others, not themselves. They measure success by the growth of their players, not just wins and losses. Ask yourself, do you want a coach who's famous, or do you want a coach who will fight for your development? Do you want someone who treats coaching as a platform for their own glory, or someone who sees it as a sacred responsibility to unlock your potential? When you look at coaches who have sustained excellence, not just flashes of success. You'll find they share common traits. They're lifelong learners. They prioritize people over publicity. They build cultures of accountability and care. And they leave programs better than they found them. We're deliberately building a coaching staff that models what you should expect from anyone in a position of power. They're transparent in communication, consistent in their standards, devoted to teaching rather than just directing, and committed to serving their players while challenging them to grow. Some programs will sell you on their coaches' ESPN appearances or championship rings. We're offering something different. Coaches who understand that their legacy isn't measured in media attention, but in the lives they impact and the leaders they develop. The coaching relationships you build here will set the bar for what you should demand from future bosses, mentors, and leadership figures. We want you to leave here not just as a better player, but with a clear understanding of what exceptional leadership actually looks like. That's the prestige that matters. Not how many people know your coach's name, but how many lives they meaningfully changed. And since we're on the topic of prestige, let's talk about conference prestige for a minute. Most of it was built on outdated power structures and media narratives, but college football is changing. The new geographically based conference alignment gives us all a fresh start to define what excellence looks like. In the Creole Plains Conference, we're not just participating, we're setting the standard. We see ourselves as standard bearers, responsible for elevating the level of play across our entire conference. When the conference rises, we all benefit. We approach every opponent with the same level of respect and preparation, regardless of their historical standing or current ranking. That Texas A&M game, same intensity as when we faced Louisiana. That LSU matchup, same detailed preparation as when we play Louisiana Tech. Excellence isn't situational, it's habitual. This approach builds a conference where every Saturday demands your best. No weeks off. No overlooking opponents. This creates players who understand that consistency is the true measure of greatness, not just rising to the occasion for high-profile games. The quality of your competition shapes who you become as a player. That's why we're committed to competitive relationships where programs challenge each other to reach new heights rather than tearing each other down. We want rivals who make us better, not just enemies we despise. Some programs will tell you they're joining a prestigious conference to gain respect. We're doing something much harder. We're building prestige through our approach to competition. We're proving that excellence isn't inherited. It's created through consistent, purposeful performance. The true value of your competitive experience isn't measured in historical conference perception. It's measured in how it transforms you as a player and person. That's what we're building in the Creole Plains. A conference where geography creates natural rivalries and every program demands your absolute best. Now let's talk about proximity to home and what it really means in your college football journey, because it's more nuanced than most programs understand. Being close to home isn't just about convenience or comfort. It's about building your career with the foundation of your strongest support system intact. The people who believed in you before you had a star rating or highlight tape are often the same ones who'll keep you grounded when challenges come. We've seen what happens when players have their local support systems within reach. There's a confidence that comes from knowing your family can witness your journey firsthand. There's a stability that comes from maintaining those community connections that shaped who you are. But here's what many programs miss. Proximity to home isn't about clinging to the familiar. It's about having a secure base from which to grow. The best development happens when you can take risks, knowing you have a support system to catch you. That balance between comfort and challenge is where real growth occurs. We're intentional about integrating your family and local supporters into your college experience. We create opportunities for them to be meaningfully involved without overwhelming your independence. It's not about hovering parents or constant hometown visits. It's about maintaining the relationships that have gotten you this far. Some programs will pull you completely away from home, forcing a clean break. Others will keep you so connected to home that you never develop independence. We believe in something more balanced, maintaining your roots while expanding your reach. Playing near home means your community gets to share in your success. The kids who look up to you can actually see you play. Your high school coaches can witness the next chapter in your development. These connections create a legacy that extends beyond your playing career. There's also a practical reality. When you can drive home for your mom's cooking instead of flying across the country, you maintain rhythms that keep you grounded. When family can regularly attend games without financial strain, you play with the energy that comes from familiar faces in the stands. We don't see hometown connections as distractions. We see them as force multipliers for your development. We've built a program where you can grow into your next chapter while honoring the chapter that brought you here. That's our approach to proximity. Close enough to maintain your foundation, but challenging enough to build something new on top of it. Next, Mario Cabral looking good. We got a hometown hero pitch on him. 50 total. Looks like we're jumping ahead. Texas State has a visit week 12. We're week 8, so we're 4 weeks away. I think we can sign him before then if we just keep that hard sell going. Timote Young. I think that's how you'd say his first name, Timote. We're going to hard sell him. I think we've got a, do I have an A in there? So B+, C-, and a D. I think that can get us a C average maybe. All right, I think we've got a decent enough lead. We're going to try this pitch here. We'll get him 10 more. Jasmine will hard sell. Nope, we can't. Not yet. Shoot. Bavaro will hard sell. He's hometown hero. Get him back to 50. Flat, we can't hard sell yet. Okay, we're getting to our top 5. South Carolina has not moved yet, so that's good. Hopefully they got the message and that they know they don't need to go after a 2-star. Machado still making good ground. I think we'll throw 5 more into him. Or actually, let's get Lutris going maybe. We'll get him to 15. We'll go Machado to 15. All right, so that's our board. Let's check the new guys we added. Hopefully nobody's going after them. True Blood, no. Wilkins at 2. Be nice. Actually, let's get those guys scholarships here. Machado will take 5 back. Lutris will take 10. We'll offer 3 of these guys this week. The other ones will get it next week. Maybe should have done this last week. All right, so we got them all scholarships here. Okay, looking good. All right, still at 35. Not going to add anybody new to the board. Let's move on. All right, LSU going to be a tough matchup. Maybe we pull off an upset here. We'll see. Okay, championship contenders taking a big hit after losing to Texas A&M and LSU. Coach prestige stays the same. Timmy Hester still unsure if our coaching style, if our coach prestige is worth sticking around for. So we got 15 recruiting points left. Eifert did not sign. Looks like maybe he was, 5 to 10 points away from signing. Shoot. Wake, it looks like we'll get this week. Sam Houston's trying to put a push on, but I think we get him. Cabral, or week 10, I think we can win this one. It looks like our hard sell is doing the same amount as Texas State, so we'll keep that as is. Young, I don't think his hard sell worked that well. Right, Wyoming's kind of jumping up. Let's remove that, and let's just keep sending the house. Jasmine, it seems to work a little bit better. Oh, he's sending the house, but he's got an A, a D+, and a C. So we'll hard pitch him. He's aspirational. We'll get him 10 more. Bavaro, yeah, see, okay. Texas is coming up now, and we got an A in there. Let's just keep doing the hard sell. I mean, I probably should get off him, but part of the Unheralded Dynasty is getting JUCO guys in, so I'm committed to Bavaro and getting him in here as a JUCO guy. Right tackle Flat looking good. Let's see what his hard sell would be. I mean, just a C-, CC. I don't know if that's good enough. Machado making good ground. Lutris. And all these other guys look okay. We got 15 points left. Lutris. Let's add 10. Oh, yeah, we got to get scholarships to those other guys. So Lutris will stay at 5. We'll get Gibson, Ascali, and Tut. So it's still looking good on these guys. Wilkins, we were able to jump up just because of scholarship. True Blood, nothing yet. I think I'm going to trade Cabral for True Blood. No, we'll stay on Cabral. We're going to stay on Cabral here. We got 5 points left. Eifert is going to sign next week. Wake should. Maybe Cabral. That might be hopeful. Nobody else is really close. But Lutris here, we'll get to 10. All right, taking on the Raging Cajuns in a Creole Plains conference matchup. Hopefully we can win this, get to 3-3 in the conference, move them to 3-3, because we got to get towards the top of this conference here and move that championship contender grade up. So here we go. Let's see how we do. Okay, Eifert signed, that frees up 20. Wake signed, that's big. Let's see. Okay, still in first. Bavaro, Flat, Lutris. Okay, that's big. Championship contender goes up. That helps us. Coach Prestige stays the same. One thing I want to jump into here, week 10, is we got Timmy Hester, who's frustrated with maybe the Coach Prestige of PJ O'Connell, maybe the coaching style, the philosophy. So we have a text message here from Timmy to Coach O'Connell to talk about Coach Prestige, and let's see how that conversation goes. So Timmy reached out via text to Coach and said, "Coach, can I talk to you about something that's been on my mind?" "Of course, Timmy. What's up?" "Don't want to sound disrespectful, but I've been thinking about my future. I was hoping to play for a coach with more of a national reputation when I committed." Coach says, "I appreciate the honesty. That's fair." And Timmy says, "Some other schools recruiting me had coaches everyone knows about." And Coach says, "I get that. I'm not on ESPN every Saturday." Timmy says, "LOL, yeah." And Coach says, "Can I ask you something though? What matters more to you? Playing for a coach everyone's heard of, or having a coach that will fight for your development?" Timmy says, "Both, I guess. But I thought famous coaches must be better at development too." Coach says, "It makes sense you'd think that, but coaching isn't just about the name. It's about the actual impact on players. My style is different than what you might be used to. I ask questions instead of just giving orders. There's a purpose behind that approach." And Timmy says, "Some of the older guys have said they'd like that about you. I'm still adjusting to it." And Coach says, "It takes time. When you understand concepts deeply, you play faster and make better decisions. Shows up better on film too." And Timmy says, "What about NFL connections though? Big name coaches seem to have better connections." And Coach responds, "Fair point, but scouts draft players, not coaches. They care about your film and potential, not who coached you. My job is to maximize your development, not just drop my name to get you noticed." And Timmy says, "Hadn't thought about it like that." And Coach says, "Look at Jacavian Rogers from last year. Same concerns as you. By year 2, his technique was so good, scouts noticed him even though we weren't on national TV much. Now getting second team reps with Carolina." Timmy says, "Yeah, that's true about Jacavian." And Coach says, "For this season, let's focus on getting you great film. Our defense will showcase your ball skills and recovery speed." And Timmy says, "So you think I should stay locked in this season?" And Coach says, 100%. Put good film out there by mastering our coverages. Helps you no matter what you decide after the season." And Timmy said, "What about next year though? Still not sure." And Coach says, "That's fair. Let's focus on this season first. Give my coaching style a real chance. See how you develop between now and November." And Timmy says, "So just wait and see how the season goes?" And Coach says, "Exactly. Judge me by my results with you, not my TV time. My reputation is growing because of what my players accomplish, not because I'm famous." And Timmy says, "Makes sense, Coach. Still getting used to your style, but I'll give it a real shot." And Coach says, "That's all I'm asking. I get where you're coming from. When I played, I wanted the famous coach too. It took me time to realize best coaches for my development weren't always most famous ones. Sometimes they were ones who really saw me." And Timmy says, "Never thought about it that way." And then Coach says, "I'll pour everything I have into your development this season. By December, you won't judge me by my name recognition, but by how much better you've become. And whatever you decide after this season, I'll support you 100%. Your growth as a player and person matters most to me. Fair?" And Timmy says, "Fair enough, Coach." And Coach says, "See you at practice. By the way, great job on those pattern match drills yesterday." And Timmy says, "Thanks, Coach. Been working on recognizing combinations faster." And Coach says, "It's showing. Keep that up, and film will speak for itself." And Timmy says, "That's the goal." Okay, so Coach O'Connell is letting Timmy know, hey, give it this year. Put your best effort on tape. We'll talk more about this as the season goes, and we'll reevaluate after the season is done. So good talk there. I enjoy creating that stuff, so I hope you guys find that entertaining and you enjoy it as well. But let's jump into recruiting. Eifert, Wake. We got both those guys. That's big. So we got Cabral here. Looks like we'll sign him this week, week 10, I think we're in. Young, doing okay. Wyoming's going to have a visit. Can we get one before week 11? No. But I think we've got to get one for Timote. Let's get him week 12. We'll use those extra 40 points. Jasmine may not need one. No, he doesn't need one yet. But Young definitely does. And I think just having a visit on the board helps you. That's a theory, nothing proven, but I like having a visit on there if the other teams do as well. Jasmine looks good. Bavaro, coming down to his final one, we got to get him a visit as well. Let's get him to visit with Timote. That'd be great. Proximity to home. Okay, so we used that 40. I think that's good, though. Get to visit Texas. I think they can make up a lot of ground if they want. Here's flat. Now we got South Carolina coming in. I can't tell you how many times this has happened. Recruiting is a small school. You think you've got a guy you want, and then a bigger school comes in. But I think we're going to continue to battle. We're close enough. We're in the top 3. Machado now, Texas State is jumping on. Lutris. Yeah, for Word is getting Kansas on him now. Tap has Sam Houston State. So now we got some teams that are signing guys, reallocating, and now we got some competition. Rust now has some. Wilkins looks good. True Blood would be great to get points on, but we have to pull off of Cabral, and I think we're going to sign him. So we'll sign Cabral, then we'll reevaluate if we need to come back after True Blood. Because if we sign Cabral, we'll have, I think, 2 solid corners. Oh no, we'll have 1. We'll battle for another one. Jesus, so tough with no points. For Werda, I'm hoping Kansas drops off. Sam Houston State there. Okay, so we're going to keep it as is for this week. I think we'll sign Cabral, and we'll go from there. Young's got to make a big jump. This board is making me nervous now. I thought we were going to be in the clear on a lot of these guys, like flat, like South Carolina. But we'll see if we can ride this out. We're in the top 3. Let's advance a week, see how we end up. All right, so we got Cabral. We knew that was going to happen. Did we get anybody else? No. Shoot, Maddens, Wilkins. Okay, so we're in first on a couple of those guys that we just added. We ended up winning again. Okay, so we're 4-3 in conference. We beat 2 teams I think that were kind of must-wins. Some of our most winnable games against Louisiana and then Rice last week. So we got Tulane this week in a Creole Plains matchup. But that is going to do it for this episode. Thanks for tuning in. And let me know how you're liking the deep dives and digging into the background of these recruits. I'm still kind of fine-tuning it and kind of feeling my way through it. But I think it's going to keep getting better and better. And your feedback is going to help me do that. So feel free to drop a comment below and let me know your thoughts. And until the next one, keep gaming, keep growing, and keep celebrating those obscure victories. Game on.